Hey y'all, good morning. It's been a couple days since I've talked to you guys, but I wanted just to come on right quick, just to tell you, share with you some things that have happened to me over the last couple of days. I believe that one of the last things I was kind of talking about was like recognizing God in the small moments and how like a lot of times we take for granted that God is with us all the time and that to the point where we don't even necessarily notice that like He's in those very small moments. So like literally our faith has been resting in times where our faith has been resting on God fulfilling this gigantic promise or God moving in some big majestic way when literally God has been there step by step by step in these very small moments. And it's funny because like after I had that whole, I think I told you guys about how it was with my friend and with my sister, how they both like was at the shop and it was like both randomly got discounts. So they got they was buying something and they got it for a lot less than what they were expecting. And it's crazy because then literally like the next thing, the same thing happened to me. Like I was at the store, I was buying something and like um I didn't necessarily have the money for it, but it was something that I needed. I had just recently paid off like a really big bill. So like all my little extra spending cash basically is gone like until I get paid again. And it was crazy, but it was like it was one of those situations where I needed it in that moment. Like things like plans switched. It wasn't one of those things I could really budget for, right? And so the thing was is like I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend this money and it's just gonna be a little tight for the next couple of days, whatever. Then I get up to the cash register and scan it through or whatever, and it ended up being a lot cheaper than I was expecting, or at least that's a lot cheaper than it was listed. So I was like, oh man, that's really awesome. And again, God reminded me how literally God is in those small moments. Like God provides for us in the small moments. It's not like God didn't drop like $1,000 in my bank account or nothing like that, but God was with me in that tight moment when I needed just a little bit extra. I needed a little bit of grace or a little bit, well, really grace or a little bit of favor where my money lasted a little bit longer than I originally thought it would. Also had I had this gift card, right? So that was Monday, right? And then the next day, it was like I had this gift card. I got it from an event I went to. It was a Walmart gift card. I was like, oh yeah, I can use the Walmart gift card because I needed to buy like groceries or whatever. And so I figured, I just assumed that the gift card would be like $5 because usually if you're giving out gift cards, say like event, you're gonna give out about a $5 gift card, because they had a whole bunch of, they had quite a few like giveaways at that event. So I just figured, because they had so many, it will only be like a $5 gift card, right? And so I went through I got my groceries, and I gave them the gift card to use first, and it ended up being a $10 gift card. And I was just like, wow, I was amazed because like literally I had been holding on to that gift card just in case if I wanted to buy something right quick or needed like groceries, and like I was at the end of the month or right before I got paid, and I just didn't really have that much extra money. I was going to use that to help offset some of that cost. Ended up being twice as much as I thought it would be, and basically it actually ended up covering a lot of my groceries. So I was like, man, like I was really thankful and just recognizing that that was God in that moment. Like I legit was not expecting that, and I was ended up being blessed. So I'm like really excited about that. So I just want to continue for you guys to continue to look for God in those small moments. And like if you're in the expectation, if you're in the mode of like expecting God to show up in some way, big or small, like God is faithful and He'll follow through. And it goes along with the next thing I want to talk about. It's just like get to a point where you're asking things, like when you ask for things, when you pray for things, but ask them without doubting. Like I'm gonna put up a verse that I was kind of looking at over this week. It was actually in one of the devotionals I was reading, so like I wasn't even that familiar with this one. I've seen this one before because I have read James quite a bit. That's one of my favorite books in the Bible is James. It's James 1:6, and then basically, let's do English Standard Version. It's like, let him ask in faith without no doubting, or without doubting. Let's try that again. But let him ask in faith with no doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that's driven, tossed by the wind. I believe if you keep going to the next verse, basically I think that's when yeah. So when you go down to verse 8 of that section in chapter 1, it talks about how like that's like a person who asks without doubt, with doubting, like you ask God for something and you doubt that He's actually going to do it. Just talks about how you're double-minded. And if you're double-minded, it means you can't really be trusted, because you really don't have the faith to back up what you're asking. So I just want to encourage you guys to like when you start asking things, like one, do it based off where you are. Like if you honestly don't believe God can do something amazing, something big in your life, don't ask for that. Like, just don't ask for it, because then you're double-minded. Ask for where you are. So literally, if your faith can get you to, God, my tank is on E, and the next gas station is like, literally, like my gas light just came on, and literally the next gas station is like 3 miles away down the road. God, get me to that gas station. And that's where your faith is. That, let that be your prayer. That literally just happened to me the other day. My gas tank was on E, and like I legit was like, God, get me there. But anyway, so yeah. But like the thing is like, allow those smaller prayers to, or what some may deem as smaller prayers, to build your faith. So literally, if you are like at the point where like pray basically for what you believe, actually honestly believe God can do. So if you believe that God will wake you up, like has the ability to, wake you up the next morning, let that be your prayer that night. And then when God does it, like when you wake up in the morning, oh, God just fulfilled that prayer. And that wasn't like you didn't have to like question or guess or kind of like, think about, oh, is he or is he not going to do it? Like, if that's where your faith is, like, okay, I can believe God enough to wake me up the next morning. Allow those moments, allow those prayers to build up your faith. So then you can start praying for bigger things, for the miraculous, to be able to see it. One of my things that I have been like, I haven't done it as often, but oh crap, I really need to go. But I'm going to tell you this one more thing, and then I got to go. But anyways, so one thing that I've been trying to do, like you guys know in the Bible, when Jesus is like in the boat. This is two different stories, I think. But let's say, all right, the one he was actually in the boat, right? And there's a storm, and like Jesus was at the bottom of the boat, and the disciples was at the top part, and it's like a big old storm, and oh my goodness, God, Jesus doesn't care that we're gonna perish, we're about to die in the storm, and yada yada. And then they wake Jesus up, and then Jesus goes and he commands the winds and the waves and all that stuff to settle, right? He basically stops the storm. That has literally one of our prayers. There's times when like it's raining crazy hard. I have a really long commute, right? And it's raining like crazy hard, and I'm just like, okay, I can't drive 40 minutes in that, that super hard rain that's to a point where you can't even see in front of you. Like, I can't do it. So I'll just be like, okay, well, Jesus commanded the waves, commanded, the storm to stop. And in the Bible, it says that we'll be able to do greater than he did. So God, if Jesus was able to command that storm, that means I can be able to command the storm. So literally, I'll go like, in the name of Jesus, I command the storm to stop. That's literally will be my prayer. Now, what happens? It varies, honestly, because there's a couple times I didn't honestly believe that it would happen, right? But I remember one time I was like, you know what, God? One of these days, I was like, and this was even before I had a live, even before I had this page, all this. I was like, one day, God, I'm going to go live, and I'm going to command the storm to stop, and it's going to stop. And then I said it again. I was like, in the name of Jesus, I command the storm to stop right now. Storm stopped. I was like, oh my God. Awesome, crazy, right? Blew my mind, right? I was like, man, wish today was that day where I actually recorded it. My faith wasn't where I could be, where I could record it in that moment, but I had enough faith that one day that I'll just be able to say just like that, and it will stop. Those are the type of moments, like, I literally asked that thing. I literally had that conversation, and there was like, and I had the faith, like, one day, God, you're going to do it. And like, sure enough, it happened in that moment where the storms completely stopped. And it wasn't like, oh, it trickled down, like it immediately stopped. And so it's just like, I use those moments of just like, say some of the stuff is wild, some of the stuff like I believe like, well, that's a big deal, right? But I use those moments to then build my faith. So then when it's a situation where I might, I don't know why I always talk about finances. Like, I'm actually literally good on finances. I'm like really good, but just that's one of the things that God has been consistently faithful in, is in my faith, my finances. So I know that, okay, if it's one of those times when like I'm like, maybe I didn't manage my money right, or maybe like an unexpected bill came up or something happened, like, especially with that whole climate stuff, like that was unexpected, like completely unexpected. I can have enough faith now to be like, okay, God's got me, God's gonna provide, God's gonna help me through this season, And so I just want to encourage you guys, like, start stepping out on faith and honestly believe that God can do it. And then allow those moments when he comes through, when he follows through with exactly what you asked, allow that to then build your faith for the next thing. And watch God just be faithful. Like, I love just giving opportunities for God to just like blow my mind. I'm like, God, just blow my mind. Just show me something like amazing, spectacular, something I wouldn't even imagine, like something that there's no way I could say anybody else did this but God. And then use that then for the next time to build your faith to ask more the next time. So yeah, I have to go. I'm excited. We're having church day. We have church every Sunday. But yeah, I'm excited about today's service. So yeah. I will talk to you guys. I'll talk to you. All right, bye.